you. Hello, everybody. All right, Case and I are enjoying the outdoors. The last couple of days, the weather here in Ontario has been beautiful, so we've been here working on the deck. We got the lovely Casey and the dog. Let me turn this camera on. I'll show you. This is our backyard. Got another little deck over here and a fire pit, and then kitchen, dining room. Yeah, this is my parents' place. But we've been enjoying working outside lately, so it's been a lot of fun. Today we're talking about the mindset that will guarantee that you succeed. So um, I put it in the description of the video here, but everything that we experience in life, we experience in our minds as well, and how we experience that is made up of like our past experiences, our values, our beliefs, but the way that we experience and perceive things is something that we have control over. Not like 100%. Like there is stuff that isn't really that easy to control, but we can influence it significantly. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can align your mindset to make sure that you do succeed. Um, I know that this mindset works because I've seen it in every single client that Case and I have had who has been successful. And it's something that every successful person that we study talks about as well. So, excuse me. We're talking like business guru guys that are making billions of dollars, all the way down to fitness coaches that have a following of like, I don't know, 100,000 people, but put people on the Olympia stage. Like these people all say the same things about mindset, and we're going to go over it a little bit today. If you're joining, let's start with celebrating wins. My win is being outside and enjoying the nice warm weather and working, just listening to the sounds of nature and hearing the wind in the trees. It's been absolutely lovely. So that's my win. Drop your win in the comments or in the WhatsApp group. My water looks a little off color. It's because it is. There was water flavoring in there, and I didn't rinse it out completely, but I promise you it doesn't taste like anything other than just water. It just looks kind of weird. All right, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this today, for one, we've got a lot of people in here that are newer, but we also, Case and I have both seen it across several different clients over the last few weeks. Some similar struggles that can really be changed or different by adopting this mindset. So let's go through it. I'm going to say the first thing that comes to mind is people often will have these like experiences that kind of throw them off. And one that recently has happened for several people is the scale. When the scale doesn't show you what you're looking for, it's easy to get upset about it and frustrated, and it takes the wind out of your sails. Like I think everybody here has felt that. I know I have myself. Casey has as well. When you're busting your ass, you feel like you're doing everything to the best of your ability, and then you step on the scale the next check-in day, and instead of it going down, it goes up, and you're like, what the hell? Like what am I even doing? And it can be really frustrating. It can be like there's 100 different examples of how that can affect or like how that can take place. So like it could even be something as simple as like, you know, you're working really hard at your macros, and then at the end of the day you look at it and you're not even like close to where you wanted to be, and it's like, well, why is this happening? But I would say most commonly it comes down to the progress stuff, because that's what we're all trying to get. We're all trying to see changes and feel changes in our body, and when there's something that shows us that things aren't makes let me rephrase that. It doesn't show us that things aren't moving. When it appears that things aren't moving, it can really take the wind out of your sails. So this is the mindset that we all need to adopt and work on is one, looking at things objectively. So I'm going to say this can be new learning for a lot of people. So this is not something that people like I expect people to know. But your measurements and all that you take, your photos, your waist measurement, your hip measurement, your weight, all of those things are just a snapshot of that current moment, right? So we know that there's a million different things that can impact those measurements: poor sleep, high stress, processed foods, really heavy workouts. Um, I think I said poor sleep already. Um, it could be alcohol. It can be not enough water intake. It can literally just be a meal that doesn't sit well in your stomach and you feel bloated. Periods, all that sort of stuff can change all of those measurements, even the visuals. Right. So they are something that, like, on one day, you could feel like if you ever have woken up and you're like, I feel light. Um, that's a good day to step on the scale after, on an empty stomach and see where you're at. Like, if you don't have problems with the scale, I would recommend doing that, because there is something to that. When I feel light, it's because I don't have any bloating going on. I don't feel inflamed. Um, that sort of thing. Like, my abdomen feels flatter, and then I can get my true weight. And then there's other days, like this past check-in. I have been right on top of my plan. I haven't missed anything. I went from 214.2 the week before to this Friday. I was 216.8. I went up by 2.2 pounds, and I was like, oh, didn't want to see that. Um, but when we look at it logically, I can see my measurements didn't change at all. My photos still look the same. So there's no way that I actually put on weight, right? And so the reason why I'm talking about this specifically, this isn't necessarily a mindset thing, but I'm trying to bring awareness to look at all of your metrics. People get stuck on the scale. So don't just look at the scale, look at all of your measurements. If you see your waist and your hips go down or even stay the same, but the scale's gone up, there's a good chance you haven't actually put any weight on. And the last thing I'm going to say on this is it takes 3,500 calories in a surplus to put on a pound of fat. So if you're sticking to your macros and you are, you see the scale go up, there's no way it can't possibly scientifically be fat content unless you're not tracking everything accurately and somehow going way over your macros, right? Because you got to consider you also are in a deficit. So you have to make up deficit to baseline, then add 3,500 calories on the week, right? So the mindset that is going to make sure that you succeed is the mindset of shifting away from always looking for the reward right away. When we're so instant gratification focused and we're like, I had a really good week, I want to see what I got. That's normal. Like, I still feel like that. I get excited for my check-ins when I've had a solid week, but I don't attach to it, because when you attach emotionally to the results, if you don't see what you want, it can take you right off of the path that you're on, which is exactly where you need to be. You can be doing everything right. You could be getting even tighter on your macros, hit every workout, and be pushing workouts harder than before. You could be getting better with your habits, drinking more water, sleeping more. You could be doing all of these things and still not see what you want to see on the scale. But if there's one thing that happens that takes the wind out of your sail, then it can derail everything that you've been doing. And this is something that Case and I listen to people say all the time, and it's a story that we both have lived, and a story that a lot of you have lived as well, where you push really hard for weight loss. Like, before the program, you push really hard for weight loss, and then something takes the wind out of your sails, you get frustrated, you stop. And it's at that point, this is where the mindset comes into play. It's at the point where you feel like you're doing everything to the best of your ability and you're not seeing changes and you're frustrated and you want to quit. It's at this point you need to really tap into this mental energy of, I'm not here for the short term. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy into my old age. I want to be mobile. I want to feel good. I want to have good energy. Like, these are all the benefits that are not visual, that are so much more important than what is visual. Visual is just like, it's just the aesthetics and the vanity of it, and it is important. I don't want to downplay it, but it's not the thing that's going to change your life. It's everything else that's going to change your life. And it's the mindsets and the things that you learn through your fitness journey that are going to change your life. I am a big advocate, and I say it a lot on my social media, that the most profound transformations in fitness are not physical. They happen internally and in your mind, and it's the resilience and the fortitude that you gain. And so, um, when we have the mindset of I'm doing this thing to get this result instead of I want to make a lifestyle change so that I can stay healthy and active for the rest of my life, then we start to create different expectations and things can take the wind out of our sails more. But when we detach from that immediate result, like I was saying, and we focus on, okay, I didn't see what I wanted to see this week. What do I need to do better this week? What what could I have done that would be better? And if you feel like you're doing your absolute best, then the mindset shift, instead of being like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore, is to think, okay, I had a really good week. I worked as hard as I could and I didn't see what I wanted. How can I make the work that I did last week easier on myself? You might not know the answer, but that's what I want you to think about and start searching for. And we have the answers. Casey and I can help you guys with this. So we can take a deep look into what you're doing, how you're doing things. We can go into your MyFitnessPal or your Chronometer and look at your food choices. Like, we can get really nitpicky, but we don't have time in the week to look at everybody's MyFitnessPal logs for a week, or go through your full calendar for every single person every single time. We do that on a as needed basis, or like in this example, if somebody asks for it, then absolutely, we're going to take the time to do that, and we're going to make the time to do that. So it's looking for areas of improvement every time, and you've heard us talk about the 1% mindset of always being 1% better than you were the day before, and that's a part of this mindset focus. When you're focused on just being a little bit better each time, then even when you're at like pushing your maximum effort, you're looking at, okay, how can I get even more in this week? How can I do even how can I manage this a little bit better? If meal prep is taking me 4 hours, how can I make it 3.5 hours or 3 hours and 45 minutes? If you're let me try and think of another example here. If you're like, I feel maxed out, like I've got so much on my plate, I'm doing everything that I can. It might be a conversation of talking to your coach and being like, hey, I feel like I am totally at my limits. I don't think that I can take any more on. Is there anything about my plan or anything that we can change to accommodate my lifestyle? Um, that's what this entire program is about. For us, we want to make sure that we create sustainable practices in your life. And so we might have to take a look at, if life gets really busy for a period, we might have to take a look at adapting things to make sure you can progress through that period, doing a little bit less if that's what it takes. We want to be dynamic about things. And so, I had one more thing that I wanted to add in here. Right. The thing that I wanted to say as well is, when you are at that space where you feel like you're giving maximal effort, the good news is that it feels like that because you're learning things. And it's effort to learn. But once you learn it, it doesn't feel like effort anymore. It's just application of your knowledge. So that feeling isn't going to be forever. And that's one thing that is hard to really know until you hear it from somebody else. Is like, when you feel like you're at maximal effort and you're like, I can't sustain this, you absolutely can, because the effort of what you're putting in now isn't going to, like, you're going to do all the same things, but the effort it takes is going to start to decrease as the habits establish. The education is more rooted, like you understand your macros better. You know what to eat instead of having to search for everything all the time. It starts to build, and so it gets easier to do what you're doing now. It doesn't have to feel like you're at maximal effort all the time. Eventually, it just becomes what you do. So that, I find, can really help with this mindset of like, I just need to keep going. I just need to keep pushing forward. I need to find ways to do this a little bit easier or better or faster, because with understanding that it's not going to feel this hard forever. So just kind of summarize, because I gave you a lot of concepts. The mentality, in a nutshell, is not about like I need to do this, uh, and it's like I'm doing this to do this. It's I'm making a lifestyle change, and no matter what it takes, if I have good weeks or bad weeks, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep trying to get better. If I'm not good enough at it, what do I need to learn? If I'm not seeing results, what do I need to do better? What do I need to learn? And those are the types of like that's the type of thinking that's going to guarantee that you succeed, because you're always going to be elevating yourself. You're always going to be asking for help. You're going to be finding new ways to do things other than just the way that you've been learning right now. And um, the shift from like, I'm doing everything I can't do anything more, I'm not seeing results, what's the point? Like, it's just a quick shift over from um, essentially of just viewing this as a lifestyle that you're going to do, and it doesn't there's no race, there's no timeline. Of course we always want things to be quicker, but if they're not as quick as you want them to be, it might be stubborn. Like, you might have a little bit of a stubborn metabolism. Casey and I will be forward with you if we feel like that's the case. Or it might just be that, like, even though you feel like you're doing your best, it still just isn't quite good enough yet. And that's a hard thing. It's a humbling thing to accept. And I can tell you, I'll tell you a personal story for myself, like from my own life, because I have to face this on a daily basis as well. Is that sometimes, even if I think I'm doing a really good job, if I'm not seeing the results, then I have to sometimes check myself and go, okay, what maybe I'm not doing this good enough. What do I need to do better? And a really solid example is my social media. As you know, obviously being a business owner and an online fitness coach, social media is the way that I market myself. I started a brand new account in January because my old account was cooked. Um, won't get into that algorithm techie stuff. I had to start a new account, and I am now we're what rolling into June here, so 5 months of posting 5 reels a day. So that means I'm scripting these things out. I'm taking time to plan what I'm going to film. Casey and I get up at 4 a.m. on Sunday mornings to go to the gym when it's empty to film all of these things. It takes us like an hour and a half to 2 hours to film 5 reels each. I spend another half hour to 40 minutes editing the reels and posting them. And over the course of 5 months, I've gained 200 followers. So I have to look at that and go, I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be. And my responsibility, like, I can't tell you how many times I've been so frustrated I just wanted to quit and be like, why am I even posting? I've got of the I'm gonna go through some more numbers here. Of the 200 followers that I have, when I post a reel, maybe 30 to 40, 50 of them will see that reel if that's a really good reel. Then it goes out to the public, and maybe another 400 or 500 people will see it. And then when I look at my statistics, about 3 to 6% of the time, people watch the reel from the beginning to the end. So when you bring all the numbers into the equation, there's maybe 30 people that watch my reel from start to finish, and it takes me cumulatively probably an hour per reel to put those up there. And so it can get really frustrating being like, what's the point? Like, why am I even doing? I'm putting so much work in to see such a little result. But the mindset, when I apply this same mindset to it, it's okay, I need to keep doing it. I need to do it longer and stay consistent. And I need to get better. So what am I doing that's not good enough? And that means I have to learn. I have to ask for help. I listen to podcasts. I watch YouTube videos. I study successful content to see what they're doing. And so as frustrated as I can be sometimes, I know that the only way that it's going to get better is if I keep doing it and if I just keep getting better at it. I know that if nothing's changing, then I need to do something different. If my methods aren't working, then I need to do something a little bit different. And that can be the same thing. If your meal planning method is just sucking the life out of you and you're still not getting any better with your macros, maybe we need to change up that meal planning strategy. If your meal planning is sucking the life out of you and you are seeing progression in your macros, can you stick it out longer? Or is there a way that we can optimize your meal planning so that you can continue that strategy, but just make it a little bit less effort on yourself so that you can keep seeing the positive benefit, the gains from it, or the progress? I have gains hardwired into my brain from fitness of anything progressing. So I hope that helps. I didn't want to share the story about my social media as a way to be like what was me. Like that's just the reality of what I do, and I wanted to share it to hopefully establish a little bit more relatability of like this is an every person and everyday struggle, and it's a consistent effort to maintain that mindset. I'm going to wrap this up here because we're over 20 minutes, but one way that you can really kind of embrace the mindset is allow that to come into your mind more often. So your social media, start watching things that produce that kind of mindset. If you want accounts, send me a message because I've got dozens of them. I'll send them to you. Gary Vee is a great person to watch. He's a business coach, but he's almost more of a life coach. Alex Ramosi, another business coach, a lot of his stuff is just applicable to life. And I've got plenty and plenty more. But the more you fill your feed, like the more you see things and hear things that give you that kind of mindset, the more it gives you the strength to push through when you feel it. Those little things, those quotes that hit you will pop into your head in those difficult moments, and you'll be able to push through, and you will be successful. I promise you, you will be successful. All right, that's it. I'm gonna wrap that up there. If you're watching on replay, #replay. Give us your win, and love to hear your biggest takeaway from the live today. I want to leave you with some homework, and I think the homework that I want to give you is just to try to think when something comes into your life or in your way that is that causes an emotion. Try to just close your eyes for a minute and try to like almost take a third like a bird's eye view of your life. Try to like imagine yourself just spectating your life and what's happening, and see if that helps change your perception of what's going on, because emotion will start to cloud us, and emotion comes in from our past experiences, but it's kind of like the visual that I want to give you of like how our minds and life works is it's kind of like if you're standing staring at a statue and you're standing over here looking at it, that's your perception of it. But you could be seeing it from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this. There's a million different ways that you can see things. Some of them very similar, some of them very different. It's like that with everything that we experience. It's why some people can go through something worse than somebody else and come out better on the other side, while somebody falls apart. Right? It's a lot of it comes down to how we perceive things and how we respond to them with like from that perception. So try to do that this week. If there's an experience that causes an emotion, separate yourself for a minute, sit down, close your eyes, take like a bird's eye view of your life and the whole situation, and see if there's other ways that you could look at it or other ways that you could see it. Try to practice just experiencing different perceptions of what's happening, and see how that feels for you. All right, that's it. That's all. Love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.